Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on where in the world you are, right? I'm a good morning kind of guy because, as Jimmy Buffett says, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So if it's 5 o'clock somewhere, you know it has to be 5 a.m. somewhere as well. But it's always great to be able to hang out with you. And today I'm hanging out as well with my really special friend, Rita Shanda. Rita, welcome. Welcome to Keep On Pushing.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Whoever part of the world or whoever is, you be based in the world. I feel also very special, and it's a great honor to share some time with you, Devon, today.
Indeed, indeed. So, we're going to talk about interview success today. And but before we dive into that, Rita, tell us a little bit, give us a little bit on your background.
Okay, so I currently work as an executive coach and mentor, helping senior directors, executive land their next leadership role by following a 6-step proven framework. I have a background in international talent acquisition, recruitment, and also designing recruitment processes pretty much worldwide. I've seen and reviewed tens of thousands of CVs and interviewed more than 5,000 people to date. I've been part of the management team and leadership team in big organizations, mainly in the financial services and information technology industry. So my background is really everything what makes you successful in terms of landing a new job, and to know how to deal with agencies, how to deal with applications, how to position yourself in the best possible way so you can show your full potential and you can demonstrate your capabilities and how and why you are the best fit for the role.
Indeed, indeed. It's pretty extensive experience in the field. So I'm really pleased to have you here so we can talk. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions and comments, don't be shy. Feel free to join in and ask myself. But more than likely, Rita, she is the expert here. I'm just going along for the ride. So, Rita, what are some of the I guess challenges that you see potential job applicants experiencing as they navigate the world of going from unemployment to employment?
Yes, we touched up on this topic the other day. And when it comes to those who lost their jobs for whatever reason, and now we're facing this global pandemic, and you, for example, used to hold a very senior position, chances are that you are also now going through some kind of identity crisis because you lost most of the responsibilities or the values you were able to add to companies and to people's life, and now you're out of job, and most probably your whole world is it feels like it's shaken down. And you may already started questioning yourself first and losing your self-esteem and feeling a little bit frustrated or not really knowing how to go forward or how to escape that kind of trap. And I think the first step is really to accept what it is going on now, and not to stay too much longer what happened in the past. Because very often I see people going back and not being able to escape from that state of mind. One of the key factors and elements of being successful again and land a new role is that you already put your focus into the present moment and towards the future potential.
Yeah, that's really solid advice because I so agree with you. Regardless of the field that you're in, you accomplish things, and our identity tend to get wrapped up in it. Whether you are an executive or, quite frankly, an athlete, and
Mm,
when those days come to an end, we lose all of that, the prestige and the power and the adulation that came from the accomplishments and the position that we have. We can lose our sense of identity. And so I so agree with you that, look, stuff happens, and especially in this climate with a COVID-19.
mm,
And there's the old saying, there's no use crying over spilt milk. The milk has already spilled. Just wipe it up, man. Things have happened. You have lost a job, so it's pointless focusing on the what was. You kind of have
mm.
to be in the present because that's where you have your power. So once they have gotten over the shock, because we all, gonna have to experience a shock and go through the process, the grieving process. So once we have kind of had our senses back, what would be the next step you'd suggest?
Yeah, the next step would be is to go through all your accomplishments and achievements you have had in the past. I would recommend to make a strong list of your track record. It helps you build your confidence back and also prepare for interviews. You no longer feel defeated. You feel empowered again because you now know in a snapshot, in a very concise way, what is that you are capable of, and you can go back to those feelings and those times when you really felt like you could add value. Um, for example, any companies like managing a team or being responsible for an entire department or unit, and just make sure that you kind of make into certain groups. So you have achievements in terms of operational results, or how you were able to develop talents in the past, or what kind of cost implications or savings you were able to make. There's so many things. I think what's key here is to have a certain structure behind your achievements and accomplishments. So whenever an interview question comes, you're able to very quickly, very effectively respond and demonstrate your capabilities.
Yeah, you use an important word, preparation. When I was doing my officer training, they taught us the 7 P's, which I've never forgotten.
Mhm.
Prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. And what I hear you saying, Rita, is, hey, you may have an extensive resume, but not every single facet of your experience will necessarily apply to a particular job. So one of the
Exactly.
So one of the first things you do is that you make a list of all of your experiences, yes, and all of your strengths, and then you will need to customize, tailor make your resume based on what you're the job you're applying for, and prepare, which is the other thing, the main thing, prepare for that interview.
Yes, and then make sure that you really understand what is the job all about and what is the purpose of the role for you to be able to make an impression. I always advise my clients to make a so-called bridge between them and the company, between them and the role. The most effective way is that yes, you have that list, you know what you're capable of. Then now you're picking up all the elements which are most relevant to that particular job, to that
Mhm.
particular purpose. So once you're able to connect with that purpose, and you are aware of the mission statement and the values of that particular company, now you are in a position to start preparing in a successful way.
Mm. So I know you coach, executives and help them land that job that they'll be looking for after they just lost, the one that they love so much. Let's say. That sounds like some of the steps that you take them through. What else do you do in the initial stages of them preparing to go job hunting?
Hmm. Well, the key initial stages is set the goals and have a very solid plan in place, and as a strategic plan, which is backed up with certain action steps. As I mentioned, the very first step is creating your master CV. We're going through a very thorough due diligence of your career to date. I advise on how to tailor your CV to a specific job, as well as to create your powerful executive LinkedIn profile, your self brand, and your interactions. Some of the secrets and tips how to deal with agencies and how to make sure that you do control your own application process, because people think that I have no control over them, as there's certain elements you can definitely control. And the second part, and then the remaining steps, are all about interview preparation, different kind of techniques, methodologies, a mock interview practice with me, and then we reach the point whereby you may need some help or advice in terms of negotiating offers or making sure that you get the best deal out of the offer on the table.
Yeah. So the idea then is not just to, send an application in, well, first of all, slap some experiences on a piece of paper and send that in as your resume. Then, if you're lucky enough to get called, just kind of walk in and figure, oh, it's just a couple of questions they're going to ask. There are particular steps. And I like the fact that you said that, first of all, you have to have a goal. That is such um, an integral part of success, man, in every area of our lives. And when people hear the word goals, they always think in terms of, oh, that's just something that a motivational speaker like me say. But I hear you as a career coach saying, have a goal and then prepare. So it's almost like you're taking me back to the Olympics. That hey, we have a goal and we have to train, we have to prepare.
And you can also treat that as a project for yourself, and for leaders, after losing a high level job or a senior role, they need, or sometimes they may realize that for that period of time they need to be their own leader. Self-leading is one of the most challenging things in life.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you're the one leading your own way. And if you think about it, what describes a great leader, some of the words like empathy and support and mentoring, and understanding, good listening skills, those are the things you need to start practicing towards yourself.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I guess one of the things that you especially as you're looking to go apply for a job. What I call some of the hardest work that we have ever, any of us have had to do, is being introspective, is really taking the time out to look inside
Mm,
yourself to better understand yourself. Because as you talk about self leadership, and I speak about that all the time, you can't give what you don't have. You
mm,
can't really offer to your prospective employer, um, the person that you don't fully understand, right?
mm,
So it means, in my mind, that you have to spend some time, although you have had all this experience in the marketplace, fully or better understanding yourself so that you can best, I speak all the time about selling yourself, about um, really presenting yourself confidently, right? That's part of the selling process in interviews.
Exactly, exactly. And what I often see that the great people and leaders out there, but when it comes to their own interview process and how to demonstrate what they're capable of, they often fall into the trap of what's already known to them but not known to other people. So
Hmm.
some certain things can be so obvious because you've done it for so long, and you may forget that the person sitting in front of you or listening to you during an interview conversation, they have no idea. They may see your CV or resume or profile, which might be super great and assessing all the relevant skill set and competencies and
Hmm.
results to the role. However, if you are not able to articulate very clearly and concisely what you can do, unfortunately, it's a mistake to assume that the other person in front of you will actually figure it out by their own.
Hmm. Yeah, so what I hear you saying is that, yeah, you may have an amazing resume. You may have actually gone through some of the processes that you just spoke about, creating that master resume, or CV, which, it's a new term to me actually, but it makes complete sense. Having your goal, tailor making your resume for this particular job, and as impressive as it is, though, that only gets you through the door because you still have to get in the interview and perform. And I'm guessing that there are some people who figure that once they have an amazing resume, then that's the rest is mere formality. But you're saying that's not so.
No, especially not nowadays when the competition is really high. You need to make sure that you stand out, and people will remember you after the interview conversation. So it's critical for you to first of all to give some advice to our audience, and then very often so much forgotten is just please make sure that you listen to the question very well. You listen to those people talking to you. Because if you can't grab some of the specifics of the question, you have less chance to respond and to answer them in a best possible way. So my first advice would be just please remember to listen very well to the question. Listen with the intention to understand what the interviewer mean. Yeah, what
Hmm.
what, what the
Hmm.
interviewer means, what he or she is really looking for, instead of the intention to jump on back to the response to the answer straight away.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's really important. Listening. I mean, that's such a key part of communication. We hear that all the time. Hey, there's a reason why you have two ears and one mouth, right? You're meant to listen twice as much as you speak. And quite frankly, even I myself have a challenge doing that at times, but I recognize that. My friend Julian Carter Winward, she chimes in, and that's why I put my glasses on because I can't see anything without them. So she said, do you see the world changing as far as what it values in someone's CV? Um, in the literal sense, speaks, so CV, curriculum vitae, in the literal sense, speaks of life experience. But in today's world, it's how many letters are after your name, how prestigious your alma mater is.
Hmm.
How do you see that?
I think it depends on the company and the organization. Referring back to preparation and also answering to that question, when you do your research, chances are that you will find out much more about the company culture and the expectations. So whether the world and the expectations changing towards having so many different kind of academic credentials versus life experience, or someone who were able to achieve so much by learning on the job. I don't think there's a massive change. Where the change may occur is how you find those companies who will value what you can bring to the table to them. I think that's the key. Once you know your value and what you're capable of, the next step is to find the organization who will appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think there is obviously a segment of the market, let's say a financial services company. Don't mean to pick on them, or perhaps something far more technical. A company in the tech space where absolutely your CV, the numbers of degrees that you have and the experience that you have in that industry is going to weigh heavily in terms of their decision. But I can imagine that there are certain companies, again, based on the culture, where yes, the technical experiences is important, but they are more interested in what it is that you bring to the table in terms of your creativity and your innovation, or you're a good team player. I mean, you look at, and I can't speak with any authority on the culture and Google and those, but my sense is that especially those tech companies are they're interested in smart, but they're also more very interested in the person and the culture and your ability to add to the culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that definitely make sure that your CV contains all the technical skill sets and degrees and certification you have with those specific keywords
Hmm.
outlined in the job description or in the job advertisement. That's definitely a crucial step to make sure that you will get invited for the interview. But going back to the original question, I wouldn't feel any less in terms of having or not having certain educational or background or qualifications, because as I said, there is absolutely a chance that you will be able to demonstrate what you're able to do once you find the right fit and the openness from the organization. Obviously, there are roles you will never get invited for interviews if you're not qualified yet, needless to say.
Yes.
But there are so many other things that when it comes to your skill set, your competencies, your attitude, will actually weighted more, and the company is actually also open to invest in you and teach you certain technical things.
Absolutely. So, Rita, I know you have, a number of ideas you want to share with our audience as to how they can successfully interview for positions. But, this, I guess I was talking too much, just not listening to my own advice of what I really want. And I have a hard break that I have to make. But so I'd love to invite you back because I want to really delve into those ideas more. I know you started talking about communication and the fact that you have to listen, but I also know that you have the carry formula that you wanted to share. So we're teasing that up. We're not going to tell you exactly what it is yet. If you want to know, I'm going to, well, if Rita will agree to come back and spend some time with us, we will share that with you. What do you say?
That's great. I will be absolutely honored and pleased to do that. Sure.
But in the meantime, hey, if you like what you have heard so far, remember that Rita is an executive coach, and you see her email there, Rita, eagletalentpartners.com. You can reach her there. And of course, she's on LinkedIn as well, Rita Shanda Career Coaching, where you can, get, well, you tell them what you offer.
Yes, definitely. And then just please drop me a line or get in touch with me directly. And everyone is eligible for a half an hour introductory call with me, and we can quickly go through your problems, your CV, your current situation, and I can explain. Have a quick conversation and introduction. I can explain what I think I can help. You can also explain your background and what your expectation, and surely we will find a way to work together effectively.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So, with that, look, we will reschedule a time for her to come spend some time with us and share her knowledge and her expertise. Thank you for joining. Please share this with everyone. Those who you think would benefit, and those you may think not won't benefit because they know someone who can benefit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So thanks again, guys, for spending time with us. We'll catch you on the next show. Until then, keep on pushing.
See you next time.